It all started with small hints, details that were almost imperceptible, but persistent enough to pique my curiosity and plant a seed of doubt in my mind. Emily, my beloved wife, with whom I shared so many years of happiness, suddenly felt different. Her eyes, once bright and open, now fluttered and averted when our gazes met. She began to spend more time on the phone, always pulling away to take a call or reply to a text. When asked who it was, she would give vague answers such as, just a friend or a coworker. Our conversations, once full of life and enthusiasm, became dull and superficial. The laughs we used to share turned into forced smiles. I saw her smiling into the phone, her cheeks flushing, as she typed messages to someone I didn't know. At first, I ignored these behaviors, telling myself I was just being paranoid. Love makes us blind, I repeated, trying to convince myself that I was seeing things where there was nothing. I loved her, and I trusted her. But doubt is a slow, sneaky poison, and once it sets in, it becomes hard to ignore. The little details and signs started to pile up. That's when I noticed a change in her appearance. She started to dress up more, wear fancier clothes, and even put on more makeup. When asked why, she would say it was just a change of style. But something in my heart screamed that there was more to it than that. The feeling I tried to bury, ignore, and forget became impossible to deny. Something was wrong, something was happening. I knew in my heart that the life I thought I had with Emily was about to be challenged in ways I could never have imagined. And although I still wanted to believe her, the poison of distrust had been injected into me, and what I would discover later would be shocking. My heart started pounding when one night, she got a call and left our room to answer it. Something in her eyes told me something was wrong. Why did she move away from me to talk on her cell phone? I started to wonder, and dark thoughts consumed me. The doubt in my heart grew. Suspicions about her were gnawing at my insides, and I knew I needed to act. But how could I confront the woman I loved without concrete evidence? So, unbeknownst to her, I started investigating. I went through her phone when she was in the shower. The answer came in the form of a text message. The messages were loving and full of passion. Worst of all, they were from my own brother Thomas. The words of the message appeared, and my heart stopped. "Baby, I can't wait to see you again. I miss the way you smell." I read and reread those words, each syllable intertwining with the pounding of my heart. My mind refused to accept what my eyes saw, but the truth was there, relentless and cruel. Why Thomas? Why my brother? Betrayal would be painful enough, but this connection to someone so close to me made it unbearably worse. And then another message appeared, more calculated and treacherous. "Are we going to make an appointment again at your place on Saturday night when your husband leaves for his business trip?" That message made my blood boil and my stomach churn. They were using my own home, my absence, to commit the most heinous and treacherous act. A dull rage washed over me, but I knew I needed to act smart and cautious. I determined that I would not confront them just yet. I needed more evidence. I needed to know the extent of this betrayal. If this was happening, my soul screamed for justice. I began to observe them silently and carefully, monitoring each word, each gesture. I followed their conversations on social networks, the messages exchanged, and I found out where they were. Each discovery was like a knife to my heart, but I needed to keep going. Saturday became the focus of my attention. I pretended to travel on business, but in reality, I planned to catch them in the act. I was ready to face whatever came. Friday passed in a haze of anxiety, and Saturday dragged on with agonizing slowness. The hours seemed eternal, and each minute weighed heavily on my heart. I knew what I would find that night, but a part of me still prayed I was wrong. I installed a hidden motion camera, which I had gotten the previous days in the bedroom, ensuring it captured every detail of the betrayal. The equipment was on and connected to my phone, and I, hidden in another room, waited with my heart pounding. Night fell, and the silence in my house was deafening. The air felt heavy, charged with betrayal and disappointment. Emily and Thomas arrived. The sound of their laughter echoed through the house, and I cringed, feeling a searing pain in my chest. They entered the room, and the camera captured every movement, every knowing look, every treacherous gesture. The love I thought was mine was there, being shared with my own brother. But what came next shocked me even more. Between kisses and caresses, They started talking about something much more sinister, a plan to rob me, to seize my fortune. Every word was like a punch to my stomach. The betrayal of love was terrible, but this new revelation made me feel utterly helpless and vulnerable. I listened, petrified, to the detailed plan of how they were going to deceive me and use lies and manipulations to take everything I had built. Nothing else made sense. I was lost in a whirlwind of emotions, and the ground felt like it had been ripped out from underneath me. I waited patiently to make sure they had taken off their clothes and surrender in each other's arms, because I wanted the camera to also capture their love relationship to show the family. So I gathered all my strength and stood up, ready to confront them. I entered the room, and the world seemed to stop. Emily's look when she saw me was a mixture of horror and embarrassment. Thomas, for his part, went pale, his features betrayed by sudden fear. "How could you, Emily?" I screamed, pain and anger spilling over with every word. "And you, Thomas, my brother, how could you do this to me?" Thomas didn't wait to answer. He ran, abandoning Emily, fleeing his responsibility, his betrayal. Emily began to cry, her tears mingling with slurred, desperate words. She confessed everything, every detail, every plan, every lie, and begged for forgiveness, begged for my understanding. But all I felt was revulsion and disgust. There was no more room for love, for trust. Everything was broken and irreparable. I walked out of the house, leaving her crying, abandoned in her betrayal. I was broken, but the flame of revenge was starting to burn in my chest. Emily and Thomas would pay for what they had done. I would make sure of that. The night was just beginning. Vengeance was mine, and I would not rest until justice was served. Anger, heartbreak, and revenge boiled in my chest, but I needed to be cautious. I needed to be cunning. My revenge should be cold and calculated. In the days that followed the incident, I called Emily for a chat. I sat down at the kitchen table, a place where we shared so many happy memories, and looked deep into her eyes, now bleary and apprehensive. "Emily," I began, my voice firm but controlled. "I've thought a lot about what happened, and as painful as it is, I'm willing to try to start over." She gasped, her hands shaking. Would you really do that? Would you forgive me?" I forced a smile, the mask of sympathy. "Yes, but I want to strengthen the union of our families. Let's have a meeting, a celebration, to show everyone that we are together and strong." She nodded, tears glistening in her eyes, hope rising in her heart. The meeting was planned with meticulous care. I invited all close friends, family, and of course Thomas. Every detail, every moment was thought to lead to the climax of my revenge. Everyone came and the house was full. Smiling faces, laughter, toasts, the aroma of the food, and the soft music all added to the festive atmosphere. I watched, my stomach tight, my mind focused. The time was coming. When the moment seemed perfect, I raised my glass and asked for everyone's attention. "Dear friends and family," I began, my voice thick with emotion. "We are here to celebrate and strengthen our union, but first I have something very special to show you all. Please look at the television." The lights went out and the screen came to life. The video began to play, and the happy faces turned into expressions of shock and horror. The betrayal was there, naked and raw for all to see. The conversations, the plan, Emily's moans, everything was revealed in agonizing detail. Screams erupted, cries, exclamations of disbelief. Emily fell to her knees, her face pale, her eyes wide with terror. Thomas tried to flee, but the judgment of those present stopped him. Fear and contempt in their eyes, I looked at them, my voice low and steady. "Did you think you could destroy me? That you could steal everything I love and still get away with it? Justice has been served. Your betrayal has been exposed, and justice will leave you with nothing when I seek my rights, Emily." My voice broke and I continued. "You, Emily, were everything to me. But you chose the path of betrayal, and now everyone knows who you really are." The night ended in chaos and despair. Emily and Thomas were thrown out of my home, their names and honor tarnished forever. All family members supported me, and later they all left. I was alone at home, emptiness and victory mixed in my chest. Revenge was complete, but unfortunately at a terrible price. But now I was free to start over, to find a love that was true and honest. And though the path ahead was uncertain, I know that somehow I would find happiness again. As for Emily, she later returned to pack most of her things and our divorce went smoothly. I have no idea where she currently stays since I cut off all means of communication. What would you have done in my place? Do you think I did the right thing by recording the act and showing the betrayal to the whole family? Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'll see you again. Take care.